Do you have PCOS and are you trying to get pregnant? Have you been struggling for years with irregular cycles, not being able to have a positive pregnancy test, and also getting dismissive fertility advice from your doctor? And do you want to know the root cause of what your fertility struggles are and turn those around so that you have this optimal fertile environment in your body? If that's you, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to the PCOS Fertility Health Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Angela Potter. I am the creator of the PCOS Fertility Protocol, and I have worked with countless number of women over the years to help them get regular cycles, get regular positive ovulation tests, and to be able to get pregnant. And so today, in this puzzle that we are putting together, we are talking about, well, what options are there for you if you go into your doctor with your story of your irregular cycles and you're desperate to get pregnant? And what they tell you is that the only answer to get regular periods is to get on the pill. And here you are, you're thinking, well, I was on the pill a few years back and I got off it. And if anything, my cycles are now more irregular. I've also gained weight, my mood is bad, and I can't sleep. And so, what are your options when you're thinking, no way, I'm not going to go on the pill? Maybe you haven't been on the pill in the past, but you still are saying, not for me. I don't want to do that because I see that my body should be having regular cycles and I want to figure out why it's not and what to do in order to get it to a place where it's able to have those regular cycles. So what are those options out there for you? That's what we're talking about today, which I'm really excited to talk about this topic with you because over my 10 plus years of being in practice, I see this all the time. Women are starting to work with me. They haven't had a period in a year, or, they have a period, but it's every 45 days, every 70 days, and then every 45, and it's all over the place. And they get started on my PCOS fertility protocol, and within a month or two, they are seeing regular cycles, and then they're seeing those positive ovulation tests and seeing their bodies make these huge positive transformations. Before we talk about what to do if you've been told that you have to go on the pill in order to get regular cycles, we have to talk about some misconceptions about the birth control pill. When you take the pill, will you see regular cycles? Yes, absolutely. But it's not your body's natural cycles that are happening. That bleed that you get is just a withdrawal bleed. It's from the synthetic hormones that you're taking through the pill. The pill was created to block pregnancy. And that's what it's doing. It is blocking your brain from being able to create those hormones naturally. And it's just replacing those hormones in your body to create this fake situation in your body that looks like it's a regular period. It's just a Band-Aid approach. It's not getting to that underlying reason of why your cycles are irregular. You haven't been able to get regular cycles in the first place. It's not retraining your body to have these beautiful, lovely, regular cycles. If you're anything like the women who are in my practice, actually, if you've tried the pill, then you find that it makes things worse once you've come off of it. Or you have a friend who's had that situation, so you're like, no, I do not want to be trying that. And that's okay. It's your body, your choice. And there are options out there. Yes, the pill is the top most recommended therapy to support cycles to come back into regular rhythm, but there is another way. And that other way is to support the body's natural hormone systems to come back into regular rhythm, because that's your body's resting place. As someone who's born with female organs and female hormones, that monthly rhythm is your body's natural resting place. And I see my duty as a doctor when women are showing up working with me virtually to say, hey, what is going on here? What are these hormone patterns that are leading to this person not being able to have regular cycles? What other issues are contributing to that? Other systems in the body that their other doctors haven't identified yet or haven't supported them with yet? That's creating this cascade down the line that's contributing to more irregular cycles and this person not being able to get pregnant, right? I put on my detective hat in the beginning and we figure out, what does this pattern look like? And so we see where you're starting from, and then we create that map through my PCOS fertility protocol to get you to where you want to be, where you're seeing regular cycles, where you're seeing ovulation. That is the trick, okay? That is what is available to you if you're being recommended birth control and you don't want to try it. There is still options out there. So, for the purpose of today's podcast, let's talk about that situation where you just left your doctor's office and you went in and you talked to them about your irregular cycles. You've already been diagnosed with PCOS and they know that, and you want to get pregnant. And what they tell you is that you need to go on the pill for 4 months and then come off the pill and you'll be ready to get pregnant. Your body will be set up for pregnancy. And you don't want to try that. You already know that that doesn't feel right to the values that you have for your body and for your fertility plan. And so you're in your car, you're crying, you are heartbroken because all you want are answers. You wanted a baby 5 months ago, and you were really hoping that this appointment would be that ticket to help you figure out what your body needs. And yet, once again, you're just being told, well, get back on birth control, try birth control, and you don't want to. So what do? What are the 3 most important steps that you can take in order to start turning things around? Because here's something that I know about you. You are a go-getter. You are committed to your body and to your health and to growing your family. And you want to get to the root cause. And you are committed to taking the steps that it takes in order to figure that out and to turn that around. So yes, you're heartbroken after this doctor's appointment, but no, you're not going to let that stop you. And so here's what you're going to do. Number 1, you are going to find another doctor who is in alignment with the values that you have for your body and for your fertility journey. Because not every doctor out there is prescribing birth control pills for irregular cycles. I'm one of them. There are lots of us out there that say, no, let's figure this out first of what's going on in the body and support that before just handing out the pill. So you need to find a doctor who is willing to do that work to help you figure out the root cause of your fertility struggles. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is that you are going to download my PCOS fertility checklist. This is a free download. You can grab it at drangelapotter.com/checklist. And once you get that checklist, you are going to scroll down to the list of labs that I recommend. Because lab work is a great concrete set of information that's going to tell you, well, what are your hormones doing right now? What deficiencies do you have right now? What is this missing step that's keeping you stuck? Lab work is going to be a really important way to figure that out. And if you don't have this comprehensive view of what's going on for your hormones and for your fertility, then that's going to be really important for that next doctor that you work with, for them to be able to give you a plan that treats these things. Yes, of course, they can order the labs for you, but if you are able to right now, if you want to take an action step because you just left that appointment where you felt really dismissed and you want to take an action step, then you're going to spend, a few minutes to maybe an hour looking up doctors. And P.S., if you're listening to this podcast right now, I'm here for you and you can reach out and talk to me. But you're going to look up doctors who are in alignment with your situation. And number two, you're going to download this checklist and you're going to look at the labs that you've had done so far in the last year. That's a good rule of thumb that I give. That's a nice amount of time to see an updated lab. You're going to look at your labs from this past year. You're going to compare it to the list that I have in that free download, and you're going to see what's missing. Once you know what's missing, then you can take that information into that next doctor that you see and say, here are the labs that I've had done. These are the results. And this is the list of recommendations that I have had. Can we get these other labs ordered? And can you help me interpret those? Okay. Step number 3 is you're going to start getting some really good foundational information about your body that you can bring forward to your next appointment with your next doctor. And the pieces of information that are really helpful are, one, how often you've had a cycle over the past 6 months to a year, depending on how often your cycle is. Do you have cycles every 45 days? Do you have this written down on your calendar so you're able to count? Because if you haven't yet started tracking your cycles on your calendar, you want to try to think back to the last, maybe 2-3 cycles, when they started and how long they were. Have that information on your calendar or written down somewhere. That's valuable information to have. And then start listing out, what other symptoms are you having? Are you also having gas and bloating and stomach cramps? Do you have a lot of issues going on with your digestion? Do you have some constipation going on? Are you really tired in the mornings? Can you not get out of bed? Do you have heart palpitations where, yes, it only happens when you're stressed and laying down in your bed at night before sleeping, but your heart starts pounding really fast and you don't know what to do? Do you have a lot of nasal congestion? Do you have aches in your joints? These other symptoms that you're feeling in your body, list those out on a piece of paper, because those are valuable pieces of information for your doctor, who is going to take this holistic view of your body to make those connections with your fertility. Because if you're working with somebody who is able to help you find that root cause of what your fertility struggles have been, then they are able to make these connections of these other body systems and how they're impacting your fertility. Right? Digestion. Maybe you've had lots of digestive issues and that's creating inflammation, which is impacting your hormones and your fertility. So maybe you have all this congestion and you have these allergies that you didn't realize you had, which is creating inflammation, contributing to your hormone irregularities and your irregular cycles. But you've got to work with a doctor who's able to put together these pieces. So you've done that research in step 1. And then here in step 3, you're creating this set of information that you can then hand forward to that next doctor to say, here's everything that's going on. What can we do about all of this? And your doctor will have this fantastic stepping stone to say, all right, you're on. Let's move you forward. I see these connections. We'll get some labs done to get an even more clear picture. And here's your fertility plan. Let's just get you started. That's what should be happening. Okay. So when you're in that place where you are allowing yourself to cry and you're devastated after having another dismissive appointment, you can turn the story. You can turn in a direction to get to a place where you're seeing results with your body and your cycles without taking birth control. And these are the 3 steps that you can do right now in order to start turning that story. And if you need help, if you're in that place and you are looking for a doctor who is going to help you to turn around your irregular cycles, turn around your ovulation without birth control, I'm here for you. And your first step is to sign up for a free PCOS Fertility Breakthrough Session. That's where you and I are going to talk, and we're going to talk about your fertility journey. And we're going to talk about what are these missing links and what's keeping you stuck. And then I'll share with you, based on all that, what's the single most important step that you can move forward in order to move towards optimal fertility. So you can sign up for one of those over at drangelapotter.com/PCOS. If you are loving this podcast and you want to support the podcast, you can head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review, or simply share this podcast with your friends. As we wrap up here today, I want to remind you that the information on this podcast is just that. It's information, and it should not replace the current advice that you are getting from your doctor. And if no one else has told you this today, I want to be the one to tell you that I believe in you, and I believe in your ability to turn around your irregular cycles, to figure out what your body needs and see the best results possible. I believe in you. Have a great day, and I'll see you right back here next Wednesday.